Hi, once again, have a great day. So we're just done tackling about what is philosophy, philosophy of education, and philosophical routes of education. And now let's move on to other philosophies and theories related to education. But before that, I am from Group 1, reporter number 4, Miss Marivic Bararas. So do you have in mind why we need to study other philosophies and theories related to education? Yes, Mr. Balaba. Okay, thank you. Well, we need to study educational theories because the educational theories are rooted from philosophies. They examine the rules and functions of schools, curriculum, teaching, and learning. So there are five educational theories for us to analyze and consider in developing our own philosophy. But I only give two, then the rest will be discussed with the other member. First, philosophy and theory is perennialism. So when we say perennials, it means undying, everlasting, or sa Bisaya ba, malungtaron. Right? So, perennialists assert that primary purpose of education is to bring students in contact with the truth by cultivating their intellect and sense of rationality or reasoning power. Then they contend that there are principles that students need to learn, like universality of truth, the importance of rationality, and the power of aesthetics. They also propose the study of religion to encourage ethical behavior. Then perennialists urge students to read great books, works by history's finest thinkers and writers, and develop their understanding of the concepts about human knowledge. And it opposes the inclusion of non-academic subjects in the curriculum because they defeat the primary purpose of the schools, which is to develop students intellectually. They endorse subject matter curriculum loaded with cognitive subjects that develop rationally and morality. Or what does perennialist teacher believe? Now let's find out. Well, teachers are intellect mentors and models for their students. So do you believe that, students? Yes, that's true. That's why a teacher needs to acquire new things or acquire new knowledge and skills to teach students what they have learned, and the teacher also facilitate personal development, encourage students to make wise choices, or help them make decisions from school to career. Yes, so second belief of a teacher, that fundamental skills such as reading, writing, competition, and research be developed starting the elementary grades to prepare them for lifelong learning. So we really need to teach the children or the young minds on how to read, write, compute, and do a research for them to be prepared for a lifelong learning. So starting from elementary level, teachers tend to teach pupils the four fundamental skills. So what are those four fundamental skills? Okay, Miss Gia. Yes, reading, writing, computation, and research. So that's the four fundamental skills that need to acquire in every child or every students. Why? So that they will be prepared in their secondary level. So if the pupils know much about those, then it will be hard for them when they were in the secondary level. So that's why elementary teacher plays an important role in the children's learning development. Next, subject with human concern like history, literature, drama, and art should be included in the secondary school curriculum. Why? Because when we study human concern like history, it gives us the tools to analyze and explain problems in the past and position us to see patterns that might otherwise be visible in the present, thus providing us to better understand current and future problems. Then why do we need to study literature? It because it helps us appreciate words and power, of course, and to allow us to travel to other realms and times through the text we read and possibly understand more our culture and arts. And we also study art because it is not only helps students to reach their academic, but also to boost self-confidence, creativity, and school spirit. So that's the very reason the perennialist teacher believe their role is to sharpen the students' intellectual power and enhance their moral qualities. So each student has their own potential. So do you believe that? Yes. As teacher, we need to know that our students have their own potential. So the role of the teacher is to help students nurture their multiple intelligences. Perennialist teacher believe. So they believe also that electronic version of great books and other classic may be viewed by larger audience, but this could not be substitute for reading the classics. Yes, because electronic books can navigate from one person to another, but those are not the best during late night reading. So of course, kaya nga naman makadaot ang gadget or ang digital sa atong mata. Labi na kung magbasa ta og gabi eh. Nga naman kay it can only suppress the brain's production of melatonin and make it harder to fall asleep. So daghang mga tao ron nga tungod kay sige atubang og mga gadgets, lisod na sila makatug nga naman kay ilang mata na anad na nga naay lights. So ang paper books, it is more healthiest, especially for nighttime reading or studying. So manay advisable. Mana nga bisan pa og naglipan na ang mga electronic version of great books, but this could not be substitute for reading the classic. So the second philosophy and theory of education is essentialism. So when we see essential, it is extremely important, very necessary, or the must-have of a students. So essentialism is a teacher-centered philosophy that adheres to the belief that the basic skills of literacy like reading and writing, and numeracy like arithmetic, as well as the subject matter knowledge should be developed in schools. So subjects such as history, math, science, languages and literature are essential subjects for secondary education. So those subjects must have in the secondary education. So essentialists believe that this basic essential subject matter need to be mastered to be able to function effectively in society. So the skills will prepare students to be competent and skilled individuals for the competitive global village. So essentialists argue that schools and teachers must be committed to their primary academic function, to teach students with knowledge and skills that will prepare them to function effectively in a democratic society. So that's the very primary academic function ang teacher nga dapat na aniya nga iyang i-mold kita kay maabot man tang teacher, we must mold and nurture our students and help them discover their hidden potential. Next, the essentialist teacher favor subject matter curriculum. So subject matter or content is another term of knowledge, so which should be cumulative and sequentially arranged, starting with low order thinking skills or LOTS to more complex higher order thinking skills level or HATS, from remembering, understanding, applying, analyzing, evaluating, and creating. So the Bloom's taxonomy by Benjamin. So from LOTS to HATS. So the teacher believed to favor a subject matter curriculum. So inanay gikan sa lots to hats, step by step, para ang learning sa mga bata step by step, right? But the essentialist teacher do not favor innovative or process learning approaches like constructivism, which allows students to construct knowledge based on past knowledge or experiences, because the role of the teachers is to help students build their knowledge and to control the existence of students during the learning process in the classroom and allow them to drive lessons, shift instructional strategies, and alter content. Next one, they adhere more on teacher-directed instruction. Why? Because they believe teachers are trained professionals who should guide and direct learning of students. Teachers use explicit teaching techniques to teach special skills to their students, where a teacher typically stands in front of a room and present the information. So the teacher will direct what's his or her instruction to the students. So what does the essentialist teacher believe? So first one, teacher have authority to discipline students. So the provision of the penal code give the teachers the special parental authority. So kitang mga teacher pohon do na tay special parental authority. Thus, they can discipline their students in accordance with existing law. Therefore, no law prohibits the parents from giving children some measures of physical punishment. But nowadays, gamay ragali nga kasikas, tulfo dayon. Okay, so, manay dapat sabton pod sa mga ginikanan kung mahimo na tang teacher sunod nga dunay authority to discipline their children. So next, teachers should have mastery of knowledge and skills they teach. Of course, teachers need to have sense of what the nature of the lesson they teach and must be knowledgeable and skillful for them to teach students confidently. So that's the big thing as a teacher. Dapat knowledgeable and skillful siya sa iyang gitudlo kay para mahimo siyang confident, di siya magduha-duha nga sakto ba ni or unsa. So like that. Next one, the use of deductive method of teaching starts by giving learners roles. So ngana gina siya. Una, maghatag ka og role sa teacher as a students rather. So it is more instructor-centered approach to education. Concepts and generalization are introduced to learners, followed by specific examples and activities to support learning. Lessons are generally conducted in lecture form with minimal dialogue between educators and their learners. So next, learn the essentials. So students should learn on what is basic or extremely important and prioritize it, of course. Whether it is content outcomes or skill outcomes, that sometimes also called concepts and process outcomes respectively. Only when the students have mastered the required competencies can be promoted to the higher level. So like TISDA, anybody can get a nice job according to his or her skills and expertise. And also to us, they will be addressed according to their grades if they still be in junior high school or be promoted to senior high school. So the test scores are the basis for evaluating students' progress. So the reason why teacher conduct exam to students is to evaluate students' learning and progress through their scores. That's why from time to time, tests will be given by teachers to students after discussion. So that's all about perennialism and essentialism. So the third philosophies and theories will be discussed by Mr. Aparicio. Thank you for listening. God bless us all.